Record. Here we go. Okay. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to our Discover Arbonne. We're just going to be talking a little bit about how the biz works and how we fit it into our lives and answer any questions you guys have. So, yeah.
Can't wait.
Yay! Love, so
I'm
excited to do this
Madison.
with Madison.
Okay.
Okay, so if anyone doesn't know who I am, I'm Kate. I am an area manager with Arbonne. I've been with the company for about 2 years and working my way to the top 2% right now. So that's super exciting. And yeah, I have a daughter who's 3.5, and I am pregnant with our second daughter. And just super grateful for this biz because it's allowed me to stay home this entire time. So yeah,
Amazing.
yeah, that's
Awesome. I love it. And I'm going to be co-hosting alongside Kate. My name is Madison Turner. I am an independent consultant and regional vice president with Arbonne. You guys, that is just like one of many hats that I wear. I'm also a full-time grade one teacher, but thankfully I'm on summer right now. I have three kids of my own. We have a brand new puppy. We have lots going on, but Arbonne is a massive piece of my puzzle, and it has been incredibly impactful for our lives. Now, we are going to go through a business rundown, but I thought it would be useful. Hi, buddy. There's one of three. I thought it would be useful to kind of share a little bit about like why we got started. Kate, if you want to take that away, and
yeah, for
then we'll
sure.
jump into business.
Well, I think like what you said about like being super busy, like I mean, I think everybody on here is super busy in their own way. And it's just one of those things like we fit it in where it works because like for me, when I started looking at the business opportunity, Madison had asked me to join the business for like almost 2 years, and I was just like always like, no, 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 no. I have my own thing. I was an insurance advisor with Sun Life Financial. And then I went on maternity leave. And when my maternity leave was up, I was like, I don't want to go back. I was just like scared and really dreading it. And we had never planned to put our daughter in daycare. So I was like, how am I going to work this and like work part time? And I did try for a little while and it just like wasn't working for us. And I also had this like overwhelming dread about work every single day because I just didn't really like it that much. And I kind of always thought like, there's got to be something more that like you can like love what you're doing and also make money and also like be home with your kids. I don't know. So when Madison asked me one time, I said yes. And I initially thought like the yes for me was because, okay, I can bring in some income and like, help, pay for some bills and stuff, or like maybe pay for an extra vacation or whatever it is, just to feel like I could help contribute to our bills. But when I actually look back on it too, like realistically, my family didn't actually need the income at the time. But for me, I was like, I didn't want to just be a mom, right? I was like, I want something that's for me, that's takes me out of like motherhood and like everything, because that's like my entire life being at home with my daughter. And it's nice to have something for yourself. And so when I look back on it, it's like, yes, the income has helped us immensely, especially in the last little bit, because my husband's building his own company right now. And it's been no income for a little while, so it's been really helpful. But also just like having something for myself. And that was kind of, seeing the community and like all the mom friends that you gain throughout all this, and like, ladies that are moms too, but like this amazing community really helped me in a time of motherhood where we're so busy and you don't get a lot of human interaction a lot of the time when you're a mom. So,
100%. Yeah. And I think like you and I have talked a lot about it too. You may not have needed the income then, but now with Kyle building his business, it's almost like preparing for impact, right? And we talk about that a lot. Might not need it right now, but 2 years from now, where are you going to be at? What could you have built? And how can that help you?
yeah, for sure. You never know what's going to happen
Yeah.
in your life and where things are going to unfold. And so having that like consistent income because I've built my company or my business up has now allowed us to take
Right.
that step for my husband to build his own company and all that. So,
Absolutely. And that's like a perfect launching point for me too, because when I started 5 years ago, it wasn't necessarily like that life-changing income right away. However, fast forward 5 years, it is now. Okay. So I am obviously in it for the long haul. I have seen what it can do for your family. I started while on maternity leave. So I was actually on back-to-back maternity leaves. I had a surprise third baby, and I did not expect to be off teaching for 2.5 years, but there I was. And I was like, okay, I want to bring something in. Kind of like Kate, I wanted to like be wearing other hats, but at the time I was kind of just like drowning, so I wasn't even thinking about the hat that I was wearing. I was more just like, okay, how are we going to pay for this new car? How are we going to be affording our house? Like it was real questions that were being asked. So I figured anything was a help.
mhm,
And when I jumped in at that point, I was like, okay, like this compensation plan that we're going to get to, it actually will help our family.
mhm.
And I went all in. And 5 years later, now top 2% of the company simply because I have consistently showed up for the past 5 years and helped other women like yourselves do the exact same.
And I think that's like a really good point to make on when we're sharing about the business is like you might start and like when you first start, like, it isn't going to be this life-changing income right off the bat because you do have to build it up. But both Madison and myself have taken the time to build it up and now it is life-changing for us. And someone said to me the other day, like if you could spend like take 5 years of your life building your business up to a point where it's supporting your family and paying all your bills and allowing you to say yes to everything, like would you not do that? It's 5 years of your life. You're going to spend that 5 years regardless of what you're doing, right? So do you want to spend it in the same place you are right now? Or do you want to, be growing something that's actually going to make a difference? So that kind of leads us into what our company is. Cause I think a lot of people, I think we have like a 10% awareness rate, which I think is so shocking to me. Because a lot of people don't even know what Arbonne is. So maybe I'll dive into that. So we're a health and wellness company, but also beauty, skincare. We have over 400 different products. And what sets us apart is all of our products are vegan. All of our products are gluten-free, soy-free, cruelty-free, certified leaping bunny, and free of over 2,000 toxic ingredients. So when you look at, like, I'm a huge advocate for getting rid of all the gross ingredients in our household, especially with having kids. And when you look at Canada or the America's like standards, they are so poor when it comes to what we allow in our products. And so our company is based on the European standard, which bans around 1,600 ingredients that are harmful to us. And then we've gone above and beyond and banned quite a few more, so over 2,000. So we have a list on our website you can go check. And then we also don't allow any artificial colors or flavors or any of that stuff, which I think is super important because those are so bad for us and they're in everything. So, so that really sold me on the products because I'm a huge advocate for that. But the other
And you
thing,
guys, if Kate trusts it, you're like, you're good to go.
yeah, yeah,
It's a big deal.
yeah, everybody knows I'm such a stickler for all that stuff. So that really sold me on it. And the other thing too is this is something that I didn't really like. This sounds kind of bad, but like this wasn't something that in my mind was like, this is so important to me, but it has become so important as I've seen Arbonne's initiatives. We are a certified B corporation and I didn't even know what that meant. But being a B corporation is actually a very hard thing to do. Only 1% of companies are B Corps. And you have to recertify every 3 years. Every year you have to continually prove that you are meeting the requirements. And we're one of the top scoring companies within the B certification network. But what it essentially means is that you're putting people and environment before profit. So some of our initiatives have been going zero waste by the end of the year. All of our offices run on renewable energy sources. Every year we put out like a report on how we're reducing our water and energy waste. And so, yeah, just like putting the environment and people before making money. And I think that's super important because a lot of companies don't do that. So
Absolutely. And I think that's a perfect segue too, because I think we're very used to traditional marketing and traditional shopping versus network marketing. So if you're cool with it, I was just going to jump into like what the difference is between those two.
yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so we are all used to like doing that shop at Sephora or heading over to London Drugs if you need to buy your skincare, what have you. That is very much traditional retail, and it's what a lot of us are used to. But I think we're kind of moving away to exploring different options, especially I would argue since COVID when so much has gone online. But when you are shopping that way, so many steps have to happen, and there's so many middle people involved. So not only does it have to be created, distributed, shipped, it has to be shelved, it has to be advertised. Like so much money is spent on all these different little steps in order to actually get it to the consumer. Now, what Arbonne does and what network marketing is cutting out that middleman. So it is produced and then it goes right to your doorstep. And the people who are promoting it are people like myself and Kate who actually use the products and are then compensated fairly for sharing it with others. Okay,
And you
so
see us use them every single day. We're not
that's
like
right.
Jennifer Aniston who doesn't actually use the products and gets paid $1 million to tell you she does.
100%. Now, and I share about that a lot too through social media. I'm like, guys, these are things that I would use anyway. And if you are on this call, there's a very good likelihood that they are products that you also enjoy too, or else it would be kind of like weird that you're on this call because that's all we do. We share what we are using genuinely and consistently. And that's in turn what brings the income. And I think if you're also on this call, you probably want to know about becoming a consultant and what those incomes could look like. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. I know I did. Absolutely. I'm like, Carly, walk me through this. I need to understand it. So say you want to become a consultant. What does that look like? So it is $65 to start your business. There is no like mandatory bundle that you have to be grabbing from scratch. You purchase what you want and then you share it how you like as well. We have the resources in place to help you with how to share. But really, at the end of the day, when we get on the getting started call together, I'm gonna be like, hey, what do you want this to look like for you? And we do have the resources. We have the website. We have all the trainings, but it's very much a personalized business because everyone is in fact independent consultants. Okay,
Mhm.
so you are independent in that, but you also have the resources at your fingertips. And once you are a consultant, people can then come shop at your shop. You'll have your online storefront, and an average customer just popping in will get a 35% back commission to you for having them shop at your store. If you have clients and who will very likely become reoccurring clients, it's going to be 15% back in commission because they're going to be getting an extra discount too, which is really nice to give to your clients so that they're feeling like they're getting a really good deal too. And then the third way that we are paid, or I guess maybe the second, I don't know, I said a couple things, is bonuses. Nope, overrides. So let's do overrides first. So we are paid a percentage based on growing a team. So if you choose to do that, so like Kate's part of my team, a couple girls on here are part of our team, a percentage of that comes each month in order to just basically, as they grow, we grow together. Okay, because I'm going to be pouring into them just like I will be doing to you as well. And then the third way, which I kind of already mentioned, is bonuses. So every single level is eligible for bonuses. So whether you are just starting out as an independent consultant or whether you are a regional vice president, there is a bonus level for absolutely everybody. So please rest assured, we want you to be making money. Um, like this really is a beautiful place to create connections and to establish healthy habits. But at the end of the day, if you're on this call, I assume that you're wanting to turn it into something that is income producing, and that's what we will help you do in order to get that back.
For
So we are paying 4 to 5 times a month, typically five. Like it's been a long time since I didn't get five. And that's a huge help. Okay. So that is kind of like how we get paid. Kate, do you want to go over the levels of management?
Yeah, for sure. And I wanted to just speak to that too. Like, obviously, if you're here, you're probably interested in the conversation and how you make money. And I
Yeah.
think it's important to note, like, regardless of, like we said, Madison, you wear many hats, like most of us do. And regardless of what your life looks like whether you're a stay-at-home mom or you have a full-time job that you love, or you're looking to find something that replaces that, or whatever it is, you can fit this into into the pockets of your day, and we'll go over that a little bit later. But it doesn't have to just be some like you have all the time in the world to pour it into this kind
Right.
of thing, because we really work on like intentionally working this into your day.
Absolutely.
Um, so yeah, so there's 4 different levels of management with Arbonne. I think that's super awesome, keeps it super simple. Essentially, everyone starts off as an independent consultant. We all start from the same place. And as you build up, the first level is district manager. So that's what I call like the car payment level. That is when you're going to be making around $500 to $1,500 a month. So you're covering like a car payment, for example, or maybe your groceries or whatever. Um, and you also get a bonus with that one as well of $260 Canadian when you hit a certain amount. And then the second level is area manager. So that is the level that I'm currently at. That is the level where your business is also willable. So God forbid something happens to you, your family can continue to make the money that you would be making. And that is the level that I say is like the mortgage level. It's about $1,500 to $5,000 a month, and then access to a bigger bonus as well. And then third level is regional vice president. That is the top 2%. That is what Madison is. And that level is a little different. You are making about 5 to 15K a month, but you also have access to what's called the VP Choice Award. I think that's what it's called. Um,
That sounds like something that you used to win at like a music festival. Remember everyone used to watch those? Like
Sounds
the
like
Teen
like an
Choice Award?
award show to me.
That's right.
I love it. But essentially, this is the level where you have grown a team big enough, where you're hitting about $40,000 a month in sales average. Teen Choice Award,
Yeah,
that's what
That's
it
it.
is. And you're
I know.
eligible for
I
the
watched
VP Choice Award. So essentially, that is essentially Arbonne like covers a big portion of a car payment towards a Mercedes
Mhm.
Benz. And if you aren't interested in that, you can take a cash
Yeah.
portion of that as well. And then the last level is national vice president. That is the top, like, what is it, like 0.5% now, I think, of the company. And that's an average of, well, $22,000 a month and up, and it's uncapped. So you can keep on going and going and going. And you also get a bigger Mercedes-Benz bonus, plus you get an annual trip to Maui with all the other national vice presidents to their leadership conference and talking about all the new products and stuff like that, which I think is so cool. We will all be there at some point. I think it's so exciting. So we keep it super simple, and at every level, like they're all attainable. We know somebody at every single level. It's just a matter of how much effort you put in and how
That's what he
consistent
did
you
the
are.
other day
And obviously, if you're willing
on
to grow
that
a team,
Sunday.
then you can kind of work your way up to those higher levels. So
Absolutely.
yeah. Yeah, so I think like this is a kind of a good time to go into like some common hesitations because I know like
Yeah.
I had so many, and I think everybody who is in our team has had so many hesitations as well. And the biggest one I think for me was like I'm not a social media, like I was on social media, but like I was like, I'm not an influencer. I don't like, who's gonna take me seriously on here? And I want to just touch on that because I think like Madison, you said it before, like you get to work this business how it works for you. So if social media is not your forte and you don't want to do it, as I know some people are really private, that's okay. You can do this in a completely different way. You can network in person, you can do in-person events. Like there's so many different avenues you can take to build a successful business. I know a lot of people do their business literally over like texts and stuff like that. So you don't have to do social media. However, we have all the tools and training, like Madison said, to build your social media and to learn
Listening
how
to
to do
the
it if
Arbonne call.
you like. And honestly, the training is so extensive. I think it's so interesting. I've learned a lot, and I've been like getting, like, I think just getting over the fear of showing up because I'm not an influencer, and I've been able to build a successful business through my social media. So,
100%. Absolutely. For the first 2.5 years, maybe 3 years of my business as a teacher, I had mine on private. So social media is very much a tool and it's amazing because how often can you like talk to 10 people in a day? Like I'm not going to 10 coffees in a day, but I can absolutely chat with 10 different people through online. So it is very neat. That kind of brings me when I think about my biggest hesitation was that I had already established a career. And it was very much a career that I'm like very proud of. And to this day, I'm a very proud teacher and I do love my job. So there was a part of me that worried that it would like take away the legitimacy of what I did as a professional. And it honestly did the opposite. And I'm so glad that I get to lead for the front in showing that you can absolutely be more than one thing because I don't know, like 90% of my clients are now teachers because there is a need for every teacher to be using Arbonne products. But also, a lot of my consultants on my team are teachers too because there is a need for more income.
yeah.
So I've been able to give that opportunity to other teachers who have been struggling to help them take their step forward. And if I hadn't done that myself, I wouldn't be able to help others do it. So now it's very like Arbonne is very much a hat that I'm so proud of, and you'll see me talk about it like loud and proud.
Mhm.
And that took a bit of time, but when you give this an honest go, I promise you, it is something that you will feel like really freaking proud of doing because it is such an amazing company and because the impact can be so huge for you and your family.
Yeah, and like we're helping people feel better in
Yeah.
their bodies, and like not only with our products, like our products are so amazing, but also we have things like the Healthy Habits Club, and like all of us here like on our team do a ton of personal development, which to be honest, that is something that I was like, hell no, I'm not interested in doing that. And now I'm like the queen of it and I love it, but like we really are helping people feel better in so many different ways, and that's something to be proud of, like you said. And I think one of the biggest fears from anyone considering any kind of network marketing company is like the fear of like what people are gonna think. And I kind of touched on that a little bit, was just like showing up on social media. Like I'm not an influencer, like who's gonna listen to me about like nutrition or whatever. And like also just the fear of like, what are people gonna think? Like I'm doing network marketing and like, but for me, the biggest thing was like getting like just not caring. And like the thing that really clicked for me was they don't pay my bills, so why do I care? And if you wouldn't take advice from somebody. Like if you they don't have a life that you want, then you wouldn't take advice from them kind of thing. And
Right.
so for me, it was just like flipping that switch of like, I don't care. And I think it's like so freeing. It's something that I think we've all learned over the course of our businesses. And
Yeah, and I think that comes with time and practice too. So like you may still have that fear for a little bit moving forward, but I do encourage you to keep pushing through that because you'll get to a point like Kate's explained where you're like, thank goodness I pushed through because imagine if I hadn't.
yeah.
Um, and in fact, we are so grateful for what we have.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Is there any other hesitations or anything that anyone has that you want to bring up? With the teacher pause.
Totally. Taught you well.
I love it. No? Okay, well, we can wrap this up, but I just anyone that's on here, I encourage you, whoever invited you on the call, reach out if you have any questions, you want to talk more about the business or need to know any more information that we didn't cover. Because yeah, we're super grateful to be here and we will be doing these calls for years to come because we want everyone to know how awesome the business is. So thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, everyone.
Thanks.